as his defense. My offense is my rights with intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. I'm back. More sheep, more iron, more heads in the hands and front mics crying, more props. Big up yourself, you sell out agent. Stop at the light, nodding to this in your conveyance. General Khalid Muhammad said he's a more. Fake Nuwapians say don't put L after your. Fake NOI burn Elijah Pool Bay pics. All you could do is break my bones with stones and sticks. Toronto, conscious school time for boule clones. No entry with a felony, lectures over the phone. With intelligence, hence we don't break, we bend. Send energy back and forth in sequence, forth and back. Most don't want me on a track. I tell rappers about their tight shirts and showing ass cracks, not actions. Ignorance makes you a sinner. Get out from under and understand, conscious beginner. Become energy dinner or appetizers. Speakers beg my flow to come through the amplifiers. With no mic check, few takes through mic wires. F rappers, co-defendants or gas liars. If he's got a gun and badge as his defense, my offense is my rights with intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. Some call it racist, having us in their pens, cause of your ignorance and no intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. Alchemists on beats, no full metal. Rapping dummies, glimmering ignorance wells and sea pebbles. You got nothing, fronting like it's precious stones. Think you got money cause they gave you a loan. In the mirror, do you see X or P Newton? Do you see a black or more or a European? Do you see a Trinbagonian or Jamaican? Or a member of Earth's first population? What do you see in the mirror? A goddess like T or a sellout? Supporting Master Hill figure. Ask in the mirror, how you looking straight veinness? Negroes see the God but acting ateness. Some look and see wives of self-shapeshift. Some look and find the truth in eyes dark places. Revlon and Maybelline fake faces. Makeup can't hide ex-slave mental cases. With blonde weaves, that's not bad of course. Forgot to mention Rome, blonde hair identified horse. We are not guilty but want to be innocent. Guilt is responsible, intelligence. If he's got a gun and badge as his defense, my offense is my rights with intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence. Some call it racist, having us in their pens, cause of your ignorance and no intelligence. Colors on our nations, just a semblance. Babylon's wall will fall with intelligence.
Peace, Moors, Islam. You know, we're here just doing our best, getting our people some information, help them figure out this madness going on, helping them fix this madness going on. Now we notice that people are still mad because when certain people talk, everybody wants to talk crazy instead of recognizing what's actually going on, right? This is what the black leader guys, the online whoever guys aren't telling you. They're so mad at him right now, even though this is old, but they're mad. Still bringing it up today.
Recently stirring controversy on Fox Sports when he said he personally doesn't see racism because so many of his fans are white.
I thought that was clearly a message that there was no such thing as racism.
There was a lot of backlash from people about that. Would you change it, what you said, or you still be the same way? What's your thought on Black Lives Matter?
What is it? What do you mean?
The idea is that there's this movement called Black Lives Matter, thinking that the rest of America didn't seem to understand that Black Lives Matter.
It just sounds weird. I didn't know that you put a name on. It's not a name. It's not whatever. It's somebody got shot by police for a reason. I am a young, black, rich. If that don't let you know that America understands Black matter these days, I don't know what it is. Don't come at me with that dumb man. My life matter, especially to my
Do you separate yourself from it?
I don't feel connected to a damn thing that ain't got nothing to do with me. If you do, you crazy. You connected to this flag right. As I'm connected, I'm a gangbanger, man. I'm connected.
He ended our interview angrily. Lil Wayne is in the business of making music, not apologies.
Anytime white people want to smooth some shit over, they go get that rich nigga and put you on TV to represent the people, you know? You have you asking you questions like, Damon, now that you made this $13 million, and we're not counting, now that you made all this money, let me ask you this. Let me just throw this out at you. You respond any way you want. Is there racism in America? You be sitting there thinking about that paycheck, talking about, no, sir. If it is, I ain't seen none.
Why didn't he see any racism? Why? How come? Maybe it's because Lil Wayne has solidarity with Arabs and Muslims. What? Why you have solidarity with Arabs and Muslims? What the hell does that mean? What does he know that all these dumb Negroes out here don't know? Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz have become a dynamic duo over 2016, but is there a specific reason why they are suddenly defending Muslims and placing a focus on the kind of Middle Eastern culture found in Dubai? Maybe because he knows about his nationality and birthrights, and he knows he's not nigger. Maybe he found that out when he joined Zulu Comedic Moors and he met with Africa Bambaataa, and Africa Bambaataa, who's a Moor, proclaimed Moor, which is why they trumped up some touch boy stuff on him, because he was suing all these so-called record companies who've been playing around with their royalties for the past 20 years because they had all their stuff in black status, had lawyers and all that. See how Noble Drew has that? You see Lil Wayne has that? You think he doesn't know? Oh, he just, okay. Oh yeah, he's the drug addict. He's the drug addict black guy. So he doesn't matter. We're not gonna worry about him. All right, let's not worry about him. Forget Lil Wayne then, because he's crazy. We don't know what he's talking about. Let's see if anybody else knows what's going on around here. Let's see if anybody else knows what's going on around here. What about this guy right here? What about that guy? See that guy with turban? Blowing the trumpet? You know what that is? That's John Blank. That's John Blank. You don't know John Blank? Oh, let's just school you on who John Blank is. Let's school you on who John Blank is. John Blank was a trumpeter for King Henry VIII. Now, why would racist white man or whatever hire a black guy to be his trumpeter? Thought black lives don't matter and all that though. Huh? Well, let's take note of this. The first thing to note is that John was paid wages, which indicates he was a free man, not a slave. Like many other of those black African descent in other parts of Europe, notably Spain, Portugal, as both had been trading in slaves from sub-Saharan Africa since the mid-15th century. Further, we can infer he was a Christian from his reference to praying for the king. Interesting. It's very interesting. So he was free man, So he was able to work for the king, but they say he's Christian when he was wearing a turban all the time. You just go check all the pictures of John Blank. You see if he had a turban on or not. Muslims wear turbans, not Christians. Just a thought. You can go to originalpeople.org. Elizabeth, the first motives for expulsion, blackamoors from London? Are they expelling blackamoors from London? You think all you people near the UK finding out about Moors and all that stuff is just something happening? No, history repeats itself. History repeats itself. And when you do your research out there in UK, keep in mind, always remember that you're not Negro, black, colored, or none of that. Because even the Queen of England knows that you're blackamoors. She wrote it in her own writing, in her own letter, trying to expel the Moors from Europe. Why are they expelling the Moors from Europe? Oh, so they can get the Moors off the land, claim the land, and now they become the sovereign. Originalpeople.org. Originalpeople.org. One reason why the black populations of London are difficult to establish is a lack of public record. Because you keep looking up black. You're never going to find anything under black. You're never going to find anything under slave but black and slave stuff. Try looking up Moors. See what you find. Try looking up free people and see what you find. With no tax on the import of slaves, such as operated in other European countries, and anyway a government monopoly on the trade of Africans from Guinea as house servants, it was 1588 before attempts were made to formalize their presence. Most black servants were slaves, but some were freedmen, the majority from Guinea, but a few Moors from North Africa. So, Unger's research show it was the Moors that gave rise to anxiety, perhaps because many had strong ties with Spain, with which Elizabeth was at war, but also because Moors were Muslims. In what inventories of servants remain from grand households of the time, no discrimination is made between servants by color, except where they are pictorially represented. Queen Elizabeth may have instigated the change in that. Interesting. Elizabeth first proclaims too many blackamoors in London. In 1596, Queen Elizabeth issued an open letter to the Lord Mayor of London, announcing that there are of late divers blackamoors brought into this realm, of which kind of people there are already here too many, and ordered that they be deported from the country. At the time, the letter had little effect. Why? Because the Moors ruled there. How are you deporting people? How are you deporting people from a place where they're from? How is it that somebody's going to get a charge over here in the Americas and they're going to deport them back to Jamaica when Jamaica is part of the Americas? How is that deportation? No, just something to think about. At the time, the letter had little effect, but Elizabeth's skilled use of rhetoric may be considered to have stirred a sense of racist differentiation and to have begun the development of a vocabulary of discrimination. 1 week later, she reiterated her good pleasure to have those kind of people sent out of the land, and commissioned the merchant Casper van Senden, you look him up, Casper van Senden, to take up certain blackamoors here in this realm and to transport them to Spain and Portugal. Finally, in 1601, she complained again about the great numbers of niggers, and blackamoors. Oh, so those are two different things, right? They're not the same. Of niggers and blackamoors, which, as she is informed, are crept into this realm, defame them as infidels, having no understanding of Christ or his gospel, and again authorize their deportation. Interesting. Very interesting. Moors at the court of James the Fourth, King of Scots. Were sub-Saharan Africans part of the court of medieval Scottish king? New research by Mary Cowan, a lecturer at the University of Toronto, suggests that several people from Africa were in the court of James, 1488 to 1513, where they served as a kind of exotic entertainment. In examining various records relating to James IV, Cowan has discovered several references to people identified as Moors, including Peter the Moor. Look up Peter the Moor. Look up the Moor Taubrunner, the Moor lasses. Instead of the black ladies, just put the Moor ladies or the blackamoor ladies. Helen Moore and Margaret Moore. The first reference dates back to March 1501, when records show that 1540 was given to the Moorian. Another thing that they called you out there, look that up. Moorian. While other historians have practically ignored their presence, Cowan believes these people were actually slaves brought to Scotland. One record from 1505 refers to a William Wadd being paid to transport Moors from Portugal to Scotland. Cowan adds that she does not believe that these people were Moors from the Iberian Peninsula, but rather sub-Saharan Africans. They are also often referred to as black. For example, Margaret Moore is also called Margaret Black. Why they start calling her Margaret Black and stop calling her Margaret Moore? They just didn't feel like calling her Margaret Moore anymore. They just didn't feel like it. They just didn't feel like it, huh? They were brought to Scotland to be kept around the court as entertainers. Isn't that what they're doing with people today? Isn't the same stuff that they're doing with all these people today? Using the entertainers, the sports guys and all that. And as unusual people, James IV had a large group of assorted foreign peoples, including a French alchemist and a quartet of Italian musicians. Peter the Moor was often associated with these musicians and may have been a drummer. Cowan also notes an unusual event that happened in the year 1507 and 1508, when the royal court held the Tournament of the Wild Knight and the Black Lady. If you look that up. Tournament of the Wild Knight and the Black Lady. a kind of medieval play where King James himself was the wild knight who led his forces against those of the black lady, who was dressed beautifully and carried around in a chair. While these people were slaves, in keeping with the practices of other European courts, King James did pay them, in fact, their wage, and provided other services for them. For example, a doctor was paid to attend to Moor Taubrunner for several weeks. Meanwhile, Peter the Moor was given £3 by the king as a kind of gift when he left the court. They don't do that with niggers. They don't. Cowan sees this as interesting cultural interaction, one that was very rare in the Middle Ages but emerged at the end of the 15th century. She recently published the book Death, Life and Religious Change in Scottish Towns, which examines lay religious culture in Scottish towns between the Black Death and Protestant Reform. So I'm sure the lecture is up there. Just look her up. Mary Cowan, Moors at the Court of James, King of Scots. Why? Why is there Moors at the Court of James? Because there's no such thing as black guys. No such thing. It's a fiction. Black guys are a fiction. We also wanted to do part 2 with our friend right here, talking crazy about the gangbangers, as if these guys.
The 60s were different. Yes, sir. 50 years later, the context is different. God is retaliating in his own way. But this murder that is going on in our own community makes it difficult for me to make the right and necessary call for your justice. On any given Saturday night in cities across this nation, it's we killing each other. You make it easy for racist police to kill you because you are busy killing yourself. But if you stopped and became a community that respects the life of each other and will protect the life of each other and will protect your women and your girls. And if an enemy of that peace comes in among us, how can I do what is right by you while I watch what you are doing wrong by one another?
Liar. Liar. You know how we know you're a liar? Let's show you how we know you're a liar, Farrakhan guy. Farrakhan guy. Let's show you how we know you're a liar. Let's show you. Because we know you're a liar. We know for a fact you're a liar. Because what we know is there was a time when there was a brother by the name of Jeff Fort, Chief Malik. This is what he had the gangs doing. This is what he had the gangs doing. How come he had the gangs doing this for? Why were Chicago gangs wearing fezzes, dressed in army fatigues. What happened? Remember, this was around the time of when NOI was around. If during the time of Jeff Fort, this is what they were about. They look like they're selling drugs or whatever to you. They look like some drug dealers to you. They look like some stick-up kids to you. How come they don't look like stick-up kids? How come as soon as they got Jeff Fort out the way, all of a sudden, killings in Chicago went from nothing almost to you can't even count. You can't even count. Right? That's where they at now. Being niggers. Right? That's where they at now. Remember, all the gang people, all of them, it's not some of them, all of them, all the gang guys, this is where they're supposed to be at. They're supposed to be fezzes up, black, red, turbans. Still you do your gang signs and stuff like that, but you're supposed to know about your nationality and your birthrights. You're supposed to know that you're Moors. How come you don't know that you're Moors? Why don't you know that you're Moors? Because these sellouts didn't tell you. These sellouts are playing black games with you. These sellouts right here, all these sellouts right here, all these sellouts telling you that you're black and then blaming you, young man. Blaming you when they're the reason why you're killing each other in the street. Because guaranteed, if they would have did like what Chief Malik did, stop playing this Nation of Islam BS when you're not even a nation. If they would have just did, well, yeah, there's the book that you can get about it, that they're gonna let you know everything. They give up all the goods. They throw everybody under the bus who was trying to pretend as if, you know, the black Peace Stone nation, which started saying that they're El Ruckin, which El is Moorish and all that, and then they adopted all the Moorish symbology into their gang. They adopted all the Moorish stuff into their gang. The 4 quadrants, scimitar, pyramid, green 5-point star, fezzes, turbans, and all that. Why is it that this stuff got erased? Why did they get this out the way? And then why is it that people are trying to convince you that Moors can't stop the gun violence? What do you mean Moors can't stop the gun violence? How? How can't Moors stop the gun violence? Why? Why can't Moors stop the gun violence? We know what's up. Right? They knew what was up. They knew exactly what was up. And they were doing what they could to try to get the gangs to stop the BS. Just stop the BS and start being what you're actually supposed to be. which are the protectors of the community. Instead of 911, they should be calling the gang guys. That's what they should be doing. Right? That's what they should be doing. They're not about doing that. They don't want you to know how real it was, right? Right. Why Gangster Disciples got 6-point star? Why they got that for? They're not no Hebrews. How come Gangster Disciples got 6-point star? Why? Why is that their symbology? Why? Why is it that the two greatest gangbangers in history were unifying all the gangs, and then as soon as they started unifying all the gangs, all of a sudden they got RICO charges? Just like that, they got RICO charges? Why they got RICO charges just like that? How come they got RICO charges? What'd they do to get RICO charges? They were cleaning up the community. They were making things better. How come they got RICO charges? Why? Why they got RICO charges? Because the stuff was over. We had our army, which would have been the gang members, the gang bangers and all that stuff would have been the army. Right? The gang guys would have been the army. The military, the police force, whatever you wanna call it. The gangs would have been that. They already had the guns and all that stuff. They already had the guns, they already had the streets on lockdown. They already had it happening. But here comes your boy. Here comes your boy trying to convince you that this can't save the gangs. They're trying to convince you that this can't save the gangs when these are the #1 gangbanger guys. #1. Top of the food chain. Top of the food chain. You think El Ruckins don't know what's up? How come Peace Stone? You already know that's Black Peace Stone. You already know. You already know. You already know. Right? What are you doing with fezzes on and all that? That's a gang sign right there. What is a gang sign wearing a fez? Oh, they're just wearing that for nothing? Really? Right. I don't know names of anybody. All I know is Hoover and Jeff Fort knew about nationality and birthrights, and they implemented it, and it was happening. It was happening. It wasn't about to happen. It was already being implemented already. And the stuff was pretty much over. Right? Look like a gang member to you? This is a gang member. Really? Let us see what the honorable Larry Hoover had to say. Our understanding of love is unchangeable in its importance to our survival because it depends upon the same law that any principle depends on. That is to say, in order for us to survive by love, our first principle, we must defend it by living according to it. What? What do you mean the first principle? What do you mean love is your first principle? What are you talking about? What do you mean love is our first principle, Larry Hoover? What do you know? There's only one people who I know talk about love as our first principle. Nobody else. And don't forget he has 6-point star and all that stuff. So all these other 6-point star people, what are they talking about? How come love's not their first principle? Everything in the universe, known and unknown, has a law of existence that it must live by in order for it to survive as such. For humankind, the first law of existence is love, our first principle. That sound like some gangbanger to you? It seems like they were on their way to solving the gang problem. But then, here come your nigger leaders calling you Negro, calling you black, calling you all the stuff that means death. And then you want to know why death is following our people? Why our people only keep dying and nothing else? Whether it's heart disease, whether it's shot in the street, whether it's white man killed them and they were wearing a uniform, whether it's, you know, their baby father beat them to death, whether it's baby mom got mad and she stabbed the side chick and baby daddy or whatever. Yeah, it's because you call yourself black, and black means death. And all these people, they know that black means death. Or they know. Don't think they don't know. They know black means death, but they call you black every day, all day. And then, after they put the hex on you, now they're going to blame you for murdering each other. Instead of just letting you know, hey, you know what? Gangbanger guys, what you guys should do is go back and do your research on the El Ruckins and the Black P-Stones and the Gangster Disciples and all these gangs who at one time were wearing fezzes and turbans and 5-point stars and 6-point stars, and they were not being gangs anymore. Your own. They'll sell you out. Put you right back into slavery. Your own. These look like gangbangers to you? How are these gangbangers? How? How they got RICO charges? How? Really? You really think that somebody fezzes up is gonna be on some RICO, some racketeering, some being criminal? Why? Why would you be a criminal once you got your birthright? How is that benefiting you? If you got any questions, you can put those in the chat. Any questions, throw those out. If you got something to say, push the thing. We'll get you in here. The only salvation is your nationality and your birthrights. That's the only salvation. Nothing else is gonna save you. Even if you're a gangbanger. If you're a gangbanger, trust me, your nationality and your birthrights, knowing that you're Moors, will save you. You would stop that gangbanging BS immediately because you realize that it's a fraud. Because you're not black. So what black on black crime you talking about? You're not black. You're unconscious Moors. Don't know the truth about yourself. Chief Malik was trying to tell you. And not even trying, he did tell you. And he had all the gangs ready, fezzed up, turbaned up, nationality up, Love is our first principle, and they would have saved the world. But they don't want that. They don't want that. They want you to think that gangs were always messed up. Gangs weren't always messed up. Gangs at one time, they were all fezzed up, ready to go. Boots to the ground for the community. Black Panthers, same thing. What did they start out first for? They started out first as a gang because niggers were getting their head beaten by Europeans. So they started their own gang, go kick some Europeans' asses, and then it turned into what you see now, Black Panther Party. But if they're black, why they studying Constitution? Why Afeni Shakur going to court and defending 51 Black Panthers who got 500 charges or whatever? Just go look up. Afeni Shakur beat these people's ass with law. How she do that with no lawyer? No, she must have been studying something. Remember, what you're seeing right here, this is not Morris Science Temple of America. Anybody who's late. This is the Black Pea Stones. This is the El Ruckins. This is the Gangster Disciples, unified. How they look to you? If you seen Bloods and Crips dressed like this, they could still have their little, bandana or whatever. But if you see Bloods and Crips dressed like this, you think they'll be killing each other? Or would they be unified? If all of them said, yeah, we're going to have our bandana still, but this is going to be our uniform as Bloods and as Crips and as whatever other gangs are out there. If these gangs started dressing like this, yeah, they were able to get charges trumped up on them because of their own. How did they get inside? How did they know where Fred Hampton was sleeping to shoot him while he was sleeping? Somebody on the inside. How they assassinate Noble Drew Ali? Somebody on the inside. How they assassinate El Haj? Somebody on the inside. How they assassinate Khalid Muhammad? Somebody on the inside. How they assassinate Steve Coakley? Somebody on the inside. How they assassinate anybody who was about the liberation of our people and bringing them back their nationality and birthrights? Somebody on the inside all the time. It's a repetitive theme with our people. Infiltrated. This is that Black Messiah stuff that FBI is scared of. This is it right here. This is the Black Messiah stuff they're scared of. Not the blacks going out there with guns and Black Panthers going out there. No, that's not the Black Messiah stuff they're scared of. This is the Black Messiah stuff they're scared of. You knowing who you are, regardless of what your social status is, whether you're a gangbanger, bum, dumb nigger, or Lil Wayne or whatever like that who has gazillion dollars. These people know this is what the problem is. We don't know that we're Moors. And again, this is not going to have any effect on people who already know that they're Moors. This is for the dummies who think Moor is some religious whatever. No, Moor helped all these gangbangers right here get out of the gangs, start being responsible people. Love is the first principle. So as soon as love's the first principle, why would I go kill my brother because he lives across the street with a different color bandana? Why? Love's my first principle. Oh, love's his first principle too? Okay, so then why would there be an issue with my brother? Why would there be an issue with my brother if love is our first principle? But they don't want that. They want you to think like these guys. Oh, the black guys doing this themselves, and because why they killing each other and all this. Why you think they were founded in Detroit, Nation of Islam, right? Why'd they go to Chicago for? Why Chicago be the spot where they got Moss Miriam? Why didn't they just do it in Detroit? Like, why'd they go to Chicago? What's the purpose of going to Chicago? Why not just stay in Detroit? Why? Why didn't they just stay in Detroit? 1930, Fard Muhammad, Detroit. NOI is founded. Allah's Temple of Islam. And then they go to Chicago. And now they got Moss Miriam and murder capital of the world. Why is it the murder capital? Shouldn't these people who are calling themselves NOI be solving the Negro problem in Chicago? Why is there even killings going on? Because these people are about their check. And they're getting their check. Well, they're getting their check, all right. That's why we said earlier, F this guy. It's not about the people. And anybody else out there playing around. Anybody else out there playing around. That you're black and all that stuff, they're playing you. You could stay there and get played if you want to. Don't get mad at Moors when you don't see us at your black whatever. Because we're not black. So you're not going to see us at your black stuff. Got any questions? Throw those in the chat. Just wanted to get that out, you know. Because they were playing around with the screen record earlier, as obviously you saw. Right? Might not be perm. He got the good hair. He doesn't have the nigger naps. He just has the good hair. He got that what do you call it? Riza Islam hair. The curly afro hair. That's that NOI stuff right there. Gangbangers, you are fighting the wrong fight. You are fighting the wrong fight. You're not supposed to be fighting each other. But you're not fighting each other because you want to. You're fighting each other because you're ignorant of the fact that Chief Malik, who you know as Jeff Fort, and Larry Hoover, who we know he's a Bay, they were unifying the gangs. They were telling you about your nationality and birthrights. That's why all of you gangbang or whatever call yourself Mo's right now, still today. Peace, Mo. What's up, Mo? You good, Mo? Yo, talk to that Mo. Go look up Jeff Fort and what he was doing, and you'll be all right. Nationality is the order of the day. Nationality is the order of the day. And like we said, we put it out there in our paper, so you know that everybody know. Prince knew, Muhammad Ali knew, Beyonce knows. She's standing right next to the Moor. If Beyonce knows, then Jay-Z knows. If Jay-Z knows, of course 50 Cent knows, because he's over here standing with Moors. Smiling. He's not mad that he's around the Moors. He's happy. Right? You already know NOI knows, because they came out of Morris Science Temple of America. And then everybody says they love Tupac and all that stuff and all that. Well, he knew too. That's why he's giving you the Islam. Why do you think he's giving you the Islam? That's why we said, why you think that he started up the One Nation album where he was bringing the unity back that these people created, trying to say East and West hip-hop war and all this BS. You know, East and West hip-hop war? Just go back in the videos and you'll find the interview with Prodigy talking about these Moors were about to unify. All that New York, LA beef stuff that was going on, all that stuff was going to be done. Because Pac's New York. Just what it is. It was all about unity when it came to Moorish anything. But now they have you thinking that that's not possible, that's not gonna happen because the black people this and that and the African whatever and the anti-black and the racism of the... Please. Please. And again, with regard to the Moors near UK, keep in mind, Moors near UK, keep in mind that Elizabeth the First made it her duty to take you from Moor to black. That's why you don't know anything. But don't worry. We know there's Moors over there that are waking up to the truth about their birthrights and their nationality. And them being on that is going to change the energy, change the mindset of all the other people, well, the ones who want to know. And, you know, in a little while, you'll see that there's more Moors out there near the UK. Because, trust me, the extensive history of the Moors, UK, England, Scotland, Portugal, the extensive history of the Moors there, these people are going to be upset when you start finding out things that they have hidden there. Forget the stuff that we've been telling you over here. When you start doing your own research over there, and you start pulling out stuff from over there, it's going to be off the chain. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. We can fix this problem. The only way it's going to be fixed is with knowledge. And the only knowledge that's going to fix it is the truth about your nationality and your birthrights. Other than that, the struggle will continue. So honors to all Moors. Stay true to the cause. Live according to those principles. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And don't get caught up when you hear certain stuff or see certain stuff on our channel or whatever and think, oh my gosh, these guys again going against their brother. Dirty Moors are not my brother. I'll let you know again. Dirty Moors are not my friend. They're not my cousin. They're not my relative. Dirty Moors need to be strung up somewhere because they're the problem. And since we can't string them up somewhere, because we already know that they're going to go to the highwayman and press charges and stuff like that, if we string them up one by one, fine. We'll have our own court. We'll find them guilty. And we'll just put out there that all these people are guilty. And they've been playing our own. playing our own, like fools. Those who want to be fools, you stay fool. Those who have any type of common sense, just go back and check all the stuff that we're putting out. Just check and see how wrong are we? How wrong are we for calling out somebody, telling somebody $40 for something they can go to RV Bay and get for free? How wrong are we? Oh yeah, and with regard to the exemption, you go to Aboriginally Healthy on rvbaypublications.com. There's a tab called Aboriginally Healthy. You go there and then you'll see the exemption for immunization on there. You download it, you fill it in, just make sure you have Eller Bay on whatever name you're going to use. You put the children's name. Child's name is John Franklin Bay. And then the father and the mother could be the witness. And then the third witness could be preacher, pastor, imam, rabbi, whoever is your religious whatever. You just take them that thing and, oh yeah, just want you to put your little signature on this, since I have a religious right to not be inoculated, immunized, stabbed with corona from these people in my nose or whatever. I just want you to sign this thing for me. Thank you very much, Mr. Pastor Guy. I'll see you Sunday to give my hallelujahs. And then, of course, if Pastor Guy plays around, then that's supposed to let you know time to join the Morris Science Temple and get back to really your true religion, which is Islam. I, self-law, am master. Not that stuff you see people, hijabs and stuff like that. Think that's Islam. That's not Islam. That's Islam, but that's late. We're doing early Islam. So peace and love all the Moors. Study, study, study. Honors to all the mothers worldwide. Honors to all the mothers. And enjoy the rest of the day. About to go get some humanitarian work going on. Go deliver some food to some people. My sister got a little volunteer gig delivering food, so about to get myself in order so we could do some of this humanitarian work, since there's nothing else going on out here. But you already know, you'll probably see us later or something, so if you could DM your questions. If you don't go on the DM, you know what I mean, you can go to Rise of the Moors, Squirrelfoot. I'm sure he's going to be live sometime today. Ask your questions, get your answers. You know what I mean? Not all Moors are on this religious stuff, and not all Moors are, passive. There's actually Moors out here who are very, very active. And active meaning taking this to the hedges and the highways so that our people could know what this is about. Peace and love to all. Give thanks for your time. Give thanks for your energy. And again, we will be connecting with the fam that's near the UK momentarily. We're just doing some fine tuning, but we will have that available. And don't forget, you can go to Canaanland Moors on YouTube. If you missed any of the IG lives, we upload everything to there. So we're getting our countdown right now. Once again, peace and love to all the Moors. Go to rvbaypublications.com.